Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We're just 3 days away from bombers, but today we can pick up shocks and see if we can make a good push in. We did upgrade troop damage critters to level 4 and have just enough tech level to get shocks. They're only going to be level 1, but still better than nothing. And technically our next step is bombers, but we need that 1500. So the few other unlocks that can help us out are maybe shock launchers. Even though they're expensive, they're really strong against ground troops, and maybe some boosts. So while 3 days worth of chests is way more keys than tokens, we're gonna get not only shock launchers next, but move on to this early 4 ER, and then get some building damage. And then when you wrap back around and get the last ER, we should have enough keys for bombers, and also enough tech level. So other than upgrading shock launchers, we can upgrade shock bombs, maybe bullet to level 2 or 3, and even a few other things like maybe heavies to level 4, and even rifles to that same level. Even though we're not using heavies or rifles, they have pretty cheap upgrades which really add up. But right now, doing a few hits. Got our first match here, and facing a lot of these kind of bases, some of them we can start using a few more warriors on, especially because we have shock bombs. Like there's not too many buildings on this side, so maybe doing something like even crittering out that cannon, and then a few warriors can eventually get those ERs. So let's say 4 on that side, and bullet 4 tanks towards the right. Still using taunt because when using drink it doesn't have too much impact. So over here let's send maybe 1 or 2 flares, and get a critter working on that cannon. I think maybe 1 more flare, just to make sure bullets on that side, and even let's say 1 or 2 taunts. But now start the warriors on this side. We do want to save a bit of GBE. Let's get 1 final taunt in, and then really just watch out this left side. I want to save those warriors so doing 1 smoke. Don't know what these 4 are doing, but as those other guys get up there, throw a shock bomb, and then even 1 more towards that flame. Critter for the other flame, and then just some more shocks. So even those level 1 shock bombs really helping out. A few more critters to speed up this side, and around a 250 time. So we can be a lot faster now with this new offense. And still hoping that our base is good. We're running a compact kind of and 1 ER to the side. The idea is if people want to really commit to 1 ER, they still have to wrap all the way around for these guys here. Facing a match here. And these kind of bases were gave us a lot of trouble before because there's that 1 ER in the back. We can even try crittering that ER. So maybe going with all tanks. Doing something like, this one's out of range, so even 2 tanks on this side, and then everyone else with bullet here. Just saving GBE so you can critter out that top ER. So we'll get a few tanks on that side, and everyone else there. Maybe 1 more on the right, just to be safe with a cannon and the ER. And it does cost a lot of GBE to use critters. But maybe let's say 3 critters and 2 shocks, which I think is something like 60 GBE. So you can kind of just watch your GBE count and there's no real rush on it. Because as you kill ERs, you get more GBE. And it only takes a few seconds to take down that ER. So we're almost there, just need 20 more. I guess we could have done 1 more tank on the left side. But at least there's only 1 boom cannon left. So waiting for enough GBE. 3 critters and 1 shock. Our shock is only level 1, so gotta be quick with the second. Get 1 going now. And then maybe 1 more pretty soon. Other flame is gonna die, get that shot going. And hopefully they should take down the ER. But luckily one more shock. And getting a 245. So these kind of bases, most cases trying to critter out one ER. And hoping it's enough. Which looks like it is. And one more match here. This one being a dirty compact like us. Which on these bases now we often take just some warriors. Almost like on the main island where you can do just all warriors on the HQ. Except this time you have 4 of them. And sometimes it depends if you want to go towards the left one first or the right. I usually like going the left first because you get a good angle with bullets taunt. So let's say flaring this ER and bullet can stand somewhere here. And you have a few taunts in you, some shocks also. Maybe one critter just to clear a few shock mines. And even one lead boat of warriors for this other one here. So doing something like bullet one warrior first, clear a few mines, and then the rest of the warriors. Then you can straight up just flare that ER, get a few smokes going. One warrior's being kinda dumb, but as long as you do a few smokes on the ER, and our tick 3 flare, so doing one last flare. So he's gonna taunt a bunch of that stuff, and kinda let everything else go. Maybe one shock on the right side. And then we'll just start flaring this ER. And we should have enough GBE for the last few. So one shock right there. Let's get a medkit on that ER. And as we get this one down, we'll do one taunt. And then one last flare with another taunt. So it is a bit easier because he doesn't have shield gens. But even getting only 3 ERs is usually better than using tanks. So taking this one down, 3 minutes. And we'll see if it's good. This guy using RCs, but maybe a little tough time. After watching the first few days, kinda decided against RCs. They can still get the job done, especially with some troop damage, shock bombs, GBE. It just seems a little tough later on, especially if you make some compact bases. And even for free to play, again we have Bomber Mania coming up, so just a few more days and we get that done. But that's going to be just enough to hit gold, so we'll get that chest. And like we said before, the real main unlocks we're going to do now is maybe some shock launchers, so picking those guys up. We won't have enough for level 4, but kind of saving for it. So it looks like maybe next chest we can do that. And otherwise, saving until this early ER right here, get some building damage. And then after that, saving a few more chests for this ER. All the while just doing a few upgrades on maybe shock bombs, bullet 1 or 2 levels. And could do a bit on heavies and rifles. Doing all that should be just enough for 1500, and then we pick up those bombers. And that's just in time where we have all 6 ERs on the best deck layout. So we should make a solid push right then. So a few more days till we get them, but we'll see how it goes. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.